Welcome to the Engage for More podcast. We are so excited that you are here with us today. We have so much to talk about. You know, we exist to encourage you to engage for the more that Jesus came to offer us. We're thankful that you're here today. My name is Kim Ball, and I'm sitting with my friend.
Hello, I'm Gwen Neal.
We are so glad for this next topic that we're going to talk about.
It's all about love.
Love is in the air. Yeah. Jeremy, you may have to edit that out. But anyway.
But we're excited about love.
Yes.
And specifically God's love in our lives.
That's right.
How it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we encourage you to take notes. So grab your journal, your favorite pen, or your phone and the notes app, and let's just get ready to talk about 5. Ladies, we're going to give you 5 ways God's love makes a difference in our lives.
All right,
in the way that we live. Okay.
All right, let's dive in.
Oh, and you can call it the 5 P's.
Oh, that's right. The 5 P's.
Yes.
The 5 P's to God's love and how it makes a difference.
That's right.
First P we're going to give you is that it makes a difference privately.
Yeah.
Privately. Mm-hmm. So expound on that one.
All right. So God's love should be changing us in ways that only we know about on the inside. It's not evident to everyone else at this time. So during our prayers, when we're seeking God's grace to shape and influence our inner lives, so our thoughts, you know, those things when we're sitting at lunch with a group of people and someone says something kind of snarky and you want to be snarky right back. Yeah. But instead you have this face that's plastered with a fake smile. God is working on the inside. His divine love is transforming those little nasty thoughts that you have of being snippy right back to that individual. He's repairing all the damage that has been done when you were a teenager or in college or maybe even as a young child. He's repairing, restoring, and reorientating you to him. So real love makes a difference on the inside where no one else can see.
That's right. It's where the very drawing board of who we are is just that real private part of us and why that makes a difference. I think just thinking about for me is just knowing that in Zephaniah 3:17 it says, He rejoices over you with singing, that He loves me that much, that when we know that privately within our soul, that God rejoices over singing over me of all people, like that me, then that etches the way that I start to feel about God's love for me. Yeah. And that's just almost the drawing board of is how does God love us and what does that matter?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so that was the first P, privately. Yes. How God's love makes a difference in how we live. First, he starts on us, on the inside. Yes. Then the second P is personally. Okay. So here is authentic influences in our small daily tasks, the decisions about how we behave, like our attitude when we're driving, in 5 o'clock traffic, those little hand gestures that we no longer use to sign off to a driver that has cut you off. Personally, how we treat our families. It also influences the big choices that we make in life, like the houses we buy, how we use our money. I know in January we talked about tithing. His love makes a difference in where we send our children, what we allow them to participate in, what sports, what extracurricular activities, how we interact with one another, and even on the values that we have. Yeah. So his love makes a difference in our lives personally in the decisions that we make, big and small.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it kind of goes back to once we've hit the drawing board of how does God love us? What does he think about us? He loves us so much that he gave his only son to die on the cross for us.
That's right.
For me, while we were still sinners, and every day I'm a walking sinner. But he loves us so much that personally, when we think about what the gravity of that is that he sent his son to die for that, for me, then we start to have that overflowing out of us.
Yeah.
So it affects us personally, and overflowing out of that, it affects our family, our friendships, our relationships. And so for the love month, when you were thinking about, or the love week this week, we're thinking about, oh my goodness, God loved me that much. What does that mean to you personally?
Yeah. And then it begins to change your life. And so we go to the third P.
Yes.
Practically. God's love is expressed in actions which make it tangible, like him just said, the giving of his one and only son. So it's visible to others, especially those who are poor and suffering, those who get on our nerves.
Yes.
We're able to express that love in very practical ways. You may know a sister friend who's going through a divorce or a separation at this time when everyone's getting chocolates and flowers and what else?
Right. Everything.
Eating steak dinners. Teddy
celebrating
bears.
love, and somebody's celebrating not being loved.
Not being loved.
Yeah.
And so because we have experienced God's love, we can show love to others. Love should be active.
Yes.
So take some of your spending money, your allowance, if you're a teenager, your stipend, and send someone a happy. Yeah. Remember in high school during Valentine's?
You could send them in class.
Yes. And you felt so good when you were on the receiving end.
Absolutely. I've forgotten about that. I love it.
And so you're affirmed in front of all the other 15, 16-year-olds in class. Do that for someone this week.
Absolutely.
Send them a Valentine's card. Buy them a box of chocolates.
Yes.
I'm going to find someone to show God's love. It should change the way I behave and interact. Right. So I'm not just, Joel, what are you going to get me for Valentine's?
Yeah. Because, it's not just a suggestion. It was a command, is to first love God and then love one another. And then, like Gwen said, that's not just a passive thing. It's an active.
That's right.
It's an active thing. And because God loved us so much, we should then take that second part and love one another. So how are you loving on your family? How are you loving on your friends, or maybe leaders in your church or leaders in your community?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Leaders in our church, they're always giving.
Right. Yes.
They're preparing sermons, Bible studies. They're attending hospital visits or funerals. How can we love on those who serve us?
Absolutely. Yeah. So take that into consideration on how are you going to make a difference on this holiday, right?
I like that.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. So what's our next step? Professionally. Ooh. All right. Expressed in the workplace as maybe the light, the only light that people see. So if you're at work today, you're listening to this on your lunch break, or you're taking a quick walk around your place of business, just trying to get some of your break, worked off.
Yeah.
How are you showing love to those in the workplace who don't know Jesus? Maybe they do know Jesus, but have fallen away. Are you a direct reflection of God himself to others in your workplace?
That's good, Kim. Oh, so now I'm thinking, how can I be that light? How can I be like salted chocolate or caramel to someone this week? A kind word, a hidden happy, maybe on a teacher's desk.
Yes.
And so the people that get the most Valentine's, guess which group?
What group?
Teachers.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
So there may be a teacher or a friend, and I spoke to this earlier, who doesn't have that special someone, who doesn't have a partner yet. And so what joy could you bring?
Yes.
Yeah, letting God's light of love shine through you. Just pushing that pink, purple, red envelope across their desk.
Yeah. Can we just talk about something for a minute that's just real, especially with those who you work, because you don't usually always get to choose your coworkers, and some are not as lovable, right?
Funny, yes.
As you would love. I mean, you get to choose your friends, so that's a little bit more. But when you're in a professional workplace, there may be some self-sacrifice that's required of you to love people that are not as lovable. But I think God calls us to do that as well.
Right.
He calls us to love the unlovable. And it's part of that sacrificial love. Because let's face it, we're not always lovable. Yet God loves us. And so if you think about, okay, well, I'd like to do something for these people because they show me love.
Right.
But what about the person that needs to be shown love, even if they haven't shown you love? God calls us to that. And so really be thinking about being able to reach out to the people who are really maybe the EGRs, we call them, extra grace required. They required more of your grace to get through your day, and you try to steer clear of their office or those types of things. But maybe God's calling you today to show love to the most unlovable in your office.
That's right. Okay. What was the acronym again?
EGR. Extra grace required. We use that around our workplace a lot. And we always run upon those on a daily basis. But if I had to be quite honest, and Jeremy that records our podcast is sitting behind really knows that that's an acronym for me, because I require extra grace a lot. And so when we know that we all require that, it's easier to give it.
It is.
I am not always probably the one that is firing on all cylinders and need extra help, and I need extra grace.
That would be me too.
So I would probably be the one that that really needs to just to feel the extra love.
I like that.
I love it.
Okay, and so our fifth P is publicly. So we're looking again at ways that 5 ways God's love makes a difference in how we live. And so it should make a difference in our public expressions. And Christmas season just passed.
Yes.
But did you notice how kind everyone was?
Yes.
I mean, in the stores, the lines were long, but people were friendly and talking. In the aisles, we were helping one another pick out gifts for our loved ones, and we didn't know each other. But because it was the Christmas season, love was felt and being demonstrated.
That's right.
But is it regulated just to December?
Right.
No, we need to be doing this.
I love that, Gwen.
Publicly all year long.
So what might that look like in your life? So you're listening to this podcast, and I think it's not anything huge. But it may be, striking up a conversation with your waiter or waitress, something about, something going on in their life, or for us as Christians, really asking that person, can we pray for you? They're
good.
waiting on, if you've never done that, I suggest trying it. That is the ultimate form of love and expression to somebody that you don't know, is how can I pray for you? And how can I commit praying for you? Or maybe you're in line at the grocery store and you have your agenda and you'd rather get on home, but you see a mom that's struggling with 3 kids hanging off her cart and they could really use to go in front of you.
Yeah.
That's showing love to another person. Us with older kids have been there, and you're at the wit's end, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe it's just something as simple as letting somebody go in front of you at the grocery store, or somebody pulling out of McDonald's into the traffic and, you really need to go on through, but you stop and let that person through. Yeah. Is showing love to even the person that can't verbally hear it, but they hear it.
That's right. Yeah. And you know what? That works in the church parking lot on Sunday as well.
Yes. Because that everybody at Brown is trying to get out for some lunch.
Yeah, at the same time. We're all trying to go to lunch or brunch if you attended 8 o'clock service. And extra grace required. Yeah, yes. Needs to be shown after service on Sundays.
I love it.
So we have shared with you, we know your week is filled with love, so we don't want to hold you long, but we have shared with you 5 ways God's love makes a difference in how we live.
Absolutely.
And it's easy, the 5 P's. So the first one we had is privately. It's an inside job. Personally, practically, professionally, and then publicly.
Yeah. So these are some things to think about. But as we leave today, I just want you to think about what the ultimate form of love that was shown. So we think about these things about Jesus's birth at Christmas, and then at Easter we think about his death, that God sent his only son to die for us. What does that mean in your life? And I just want to leave you with that question. What does that mean to you? And what does that mean about how you show love to others? Yeah. So we thank you for joining us today and being with us. We would love for you to like and subscribe to our podcast. And so if you could just do that and share it to people, whether it's on Facebook or sending it to other people so they can like, and it just gives us more coverage throughout people. We would love for you to like and share our podcast. We thank you for joining us today.